Update. Am I the a-hole for calling divorce immediately after finding out my wife emotionally cheated on me? Original post. I found out my wife was cheating on me emotionally last week. I found it through a notification when she was in the shower. We are both 33 and married for 6 years. In my eyes, everything was good. Funny how one can hide their betrayal without other party noticing. I confronted her right away and told her to open the phone to show me the messages. She refused first, but gave up after I told we are getting a divorce. The texts were not that old, and there were not many. It was obvious most of the texts were deleted. I asked her questions about the affair. Why, who, where, how. I will not go into details as I want to stay anonymous, but I was trickle-truthed in the end. She got caught and trickle-truthed me. I do not believe her in what she said about the extent they went. At the beginning of our relationship, I made it very clear that cheating in any form is a relationship ender. I told her to get a lawyer because we are getting divorced. She asked for marriage counseling, promised to change, and even make her life completely dependent on me, leave the job, not leave the house, and give me all of her digital devices. I told her where marriage counseling would help was before she decided to have an affair. We could go to marriage counseling and solve the problem there by talking whichever problem she had. Instead, she went on to have an emotional affair and made sure to actively hide things from me by deleting texts and trickle-truthing. I reminded her my boundaries and what I told her about them in the beginning of the relationship. I will hand the divorce papers to her this month, and she is telling me to reconsider. Am I the a-hole in this situation? Now for the top comments before reading the update. Not the a-hole. You clearly stated a boundary and what the consequences would be. Now she's shocked that you actually meant what you said. Divorce her and get her out of your house. You clearly stated a boundary and what the consequences would be. Just wanted to add, this is a pretty universal boundary that you don't have to state to expect your partner won't cross. Even if you never have a convo about cheating, it's still reasonable to end a relationship. Agreed. There are boatloads of things you shouldn't have to explicitly tell your boyfriend or girlfriend not to do. I've never explicitly told my wife to not stab me, but I'm pretty confident that she's able to figure out that doing so is wrong, and that I will divorce her if she does so, and I survive. Likewise, I don't have to explain to her how divorce will be the result if she cheats in any way. Not the a-hole. The trickle truth is the problem that makes reconciliation a non-starter. You can't trust her. All the things she's willing to do now are band-aids. Who wants to be married with someone who can't have a life outside of you because they may cheat again? She made her choice. Don't let her drag out the inevitable. This. If they come to me and confess, I may consider at least listening. If I had to dig out oak roots to get the full story, you can't repair the damage. This is exactly why I got divorced. The cover-up was worse than the crime. I don't need to spend the rest of my life playing Nancy Drew. Also, let's not forget the quitting her job and never leaving the house means if they get divorced in the future, he'd probably owe her alimony since she no longer has her own income. Also, this seems like such an interesting and extreme response. Like you'll quit your job and never leave the house? Why? Like what person would be like, yeah, okay, you're in house arrest now. You're a housewife? It makes it seem like she's offering a dramatic solution like she's just throwing spaghetti at the wall to see if it sticks. I don't know. It just kind of strikes me as putting it back on the other person to be the bigger and better person by saying, oh no, you don't have to quit your job and stay at home all the time. So in order to not cheat and prove her loyalty, she proposes this probably outlandish entire lifestyle change to ensure she won't cheat or something. It makes him the bad guy even if he agrees to her proposed solution. It's scary, especially because you had to be so persistent to get whatever truth you did find. I feel like you just never know with these types of people. What all would they hide if they could? It breaks the whole trust. It's your marriage, so if you want to work on it, I would understand. But if you feel so clearly about it, anyone would understand wanting to divorce. It's the deleting and the withholding info and the trickling. I'm so sorry. I've been married for 36 years. Trust and love are the currencies of a successful relationship. If you don't think that you can ever trust her again, then leave. If you still love her, want to save the marriage, then try therapy. Only you know what you feel strongest about. I wish you luck and joy. As someone who has been married almost 30 years, I 100% agree. Trust is a critical pillar of a successful relationship. Without it, it fails. Only question is when and how much pain you want to go through. Now for the update. It's 100% divorce now. I think I was looking to relax and validate my logic with that post. Love is there, but trust is broken. My heart told me to have a hope, but my logic told me to divorce. Logic won in the end. It has been over a week now and I still do not get the full information about the affair. Yesterday night and this morning, after the post, I came to learn new information about the affair, and I am still not sure if it's the full extent. To clarify the emotional affair part, they texted, sent nudes to each other, and there were I love yous involved. If it's not cheating, I do not know what it is. Whatever, I still do not know the full truth and she refuses disclosing who exactly this affair partner is. My trust level for her is so low that she could say sky is blue and I would doubt it. This relationship is just over. Dead. I will go ahead with the divorce as soon as possible so I can process my feelings alone after she leaves. Some people told me I would not be able to find anyone at 33 as a male. This is the last thing I worry about after divorce. First thing is to get over the relationship and put myself together better than ever. I'm planning to start individual therapy right after I sort things out. I can date after that easily. Hope seeing you with a happy divorce update and in a better mood. She won't tell you who the affair partner is, probably to protect him and is still choosing him, but she has the gall to ask you to not divorce? She's still hiding details, and most likely those details are the physical aspect of the affair. I highly doubt they were telling each other the I love yous without there being physical cheating going on. You are absolutely making the right decision. She won't tell you who affair partner is, but you have his nude pics he sent your wife? That should help identify him. Oh yeah, just go around at her work, asking blokes to drop their trousers and inspect their junks. I can't imagine why anyone would say that bit about being 33. Ignore that crap. The other guy must be married if she won't divulge. Sounds like you've made the right decision. If you do find out who Loverboy is, out him. Good luck. I read that and was thinking I must be screwed then as I'm a 32 female who's been single for a while. Must get started on becoming the old cat lady, haha. It's crazy cat lady. If you're going to plan accordingly. She's not disclosing the affair partner because it's someone close enough for you to have access to him and possibly the whole truth. I'm very sure you know this guy. She's also not disclosing because she's not planning on ending the affair at all. They plan on going below the radar and simply will get better at deceiving. Because they have easy access to each other. Anyway, her not being completely open bar for him means that there's no working through this. Should you even wish? Prepare to be hurt pretty bad when you find out who he is. After the divorce, they'll be out in the open in no time. Making that decision and sticking to it is very difficult. You've made a first step, and that's amazing. You probably will never find out the full truth. I'm divorcing my wife now for very similar circumstances. You will find someone else at 33. There's literally billions of fish in the sea. I totally agree. 33, looking good, feeling good, earning good, attentive. The amount of people in that thread who have no idea what emotional cheating even means really shows that when you come to Reddit for advice, you are largely receiving advice from 13-year-olds with almost no life experience. Next story. Am I the a-hole for telling my girlfriend she's a gold digger after she refused a prenup? I, 28 male, and my fiancé, 26 female, have been dating for 5 years. We met during college and have been inseparable ever since. I currently run my own catering business while she works as a financial advisor. During our relationship post-college, I've been earning quite a bit more than her, and for the most part, I'm completely fine with it. I pay for all our household expenses and didn't really expect her to contribute anything. She wants to go back to college to get her master's, so I've always told her to save up for college and I would take care of the rest. She's genuinely the love of my life. She's smart, charismatic, gorgeous, and is extremely kind and patient with me. From the moment I've been dating, I felt like she was going to be best I was ever going to have. So regrettably, I started treating her as such. I bought her lavish gifts, took her in fancy dinners, and the more my business flourished, the more I would spoil her. A month ago, during our trip to New York, I proposed to her. Up to that point, that was the best day of my life. But the devil had other plans for me, I guess. As soon as we came back from our vacation, the crap storm started. She started looking for venues and took the charge in planning our wedding. I was genuinely happy and couldn't wait. But when I saw the price of our dream wedding, I started to question everything. With the venue and everything else, it totaled to $400K. I mean, seriously? Initially, I thought she would pay for a chunk of it, since she had massive savings by now. But when I asked her, she told me it was my duty as a man to pay for the wedding. We got into a huge argument that evening, and I went to stay at my parents' house. Told them everything. I know I earn well, but there was no way I was spending $500,000 on a wedding. My parents were on my side and told me that their friend who plans weddings would give me an offer for a much cheaper wedding. In the meantime, I should ask my fiancé for a prenup. They told me they always had suspicions of her being with me because of money. They never told me since, in their words, their precious boy was so happy, and it wasn't their place to tell me how to spend my money. I called her that same evening and told her that I was getting someone else to plan our wedding. She initially seemed hesitant, but later relented and agreed, and then apologized for planning such an outlandish wedding. I went home the next day and dropped the second bomb on her. I wanted a prenup. At this, she wasn't so easily defeated. She went into a full-on mental breakdown, calling me emotionally abusive and a manipulative a-hole. I clearly told her that I have been paying for everything, and as a result, she has a lot of savings. I told her that her refusing was a deal breaker for me. I told her that I was blindsided by her behavior all these years, because I genuinely loved her to death. She then told me that I earned much more than her, and it was unfair for me to deny her any part of it as my wife. I just called her gold digger and to GTFO of my house. She's currently staying at her parents'. Her mother has been blowing up my phone, telling me that I shouldn't have proposed something so selfish to her, and that calling her a gold digger really hurt her feelings. She then demanded an apology from me. I haven't bothered responding. To me, this whole situation is insane. Don't get me wrong, I still love my fiancé to death, but this whole saga really opened my eyes to how spoiled and entitled I made her. I feel like I enabled her behavior, and maybe I was wrong for blindsiding her with everything. Don't get me wrong, I'm still asking for a prenup, but I feel like I should apologize for dumping everything on her at once. Should I apologize? Am I the a-hole here? Edit. I never expected such a massive response. Thank you so much. I know I could have handled things much differently and set clear boundaries to begin with, but again, I was just blindsided with love. I justified her behavior as just a thing I had to, as a man. We live in a quite conservative country where typical gender roles are preached. And no, we don't live in the US, so please stop with the baby trap and child support comments. And to those confused about my company, I and my best friend started running ghost kitchens here in Europe across a few countries. When people ask what I do, I usually say catering since it's much easier to explain. I also want to apologize for my poor English. It's not my first language. Now for the top comments. My wife and I still lose sleep over paying off our $30,000 wedding. She's insane. I know someone else that did a $30K wedding. Took them years to pay it off. And what do you really get out of it? One night of food and drinks and photos that you look at once every 10 years. This is why I'm team backyard wedding. You can still have food and take pictures and have it be the greatest day of your life with all the people you love for like $500. To me, it's so stupid to spend money on a one-day event when that money would be much better spent on a down payment for a house or expenses for our future children. She has lots of savings, but won't pay for anything and wants you to stump up $500,000 because you're the man? If it looks like a duck and quacks like a duck, it's probably a duck. Anyone who says you need to obligate yourself to do this for me because of your gender is a roaring piece of turd. Not the a-hole, but I'm not sure there is a chance to recover from this. When people show who they really are, believe them. Last story. Am I the a-hole for laughing at my wife's friend's 30s female dating logic? I, 30s male, laughed at my wife's 30s female friend, 30s female. Long story short, my wife and her friend were talking about her friend's dating success. Overhearing her friend's logic, and I let out a chuckle. Her friend then wanted to know what I found so funny. I told her that she shouldn't be surprised that the men she rejects don't want to be friends. And that is people age. They have less time for just friends and want to find someone to settle down with. So she shouldn't take it personally. She then countered that if they, the man she rejected, really wanted to win her heart, they should stay friends and win it slowly over time. I told her that there's no man in their 30s that would want to play that game. And that like she didn't owe them a date, they didn't owe it to her to stay around. No matter how good a friendship was and how sad it made her. This must have struck a nerve as she called me an a-hole. So am I? Was my delivery of what I considered sounded basic logic just bad? Nope. They're being honest with their intentions. She isn't. Exactly. What woman in her right mind wants a man to play the "I'm going to pretend to be your friend but only for as long as it takes to try to win you over romantically" game? This lady is nuts. She wants to be manipulated about her romantic interests and intentions and have them pretend they want a no-benefits friendship when that's the last thing they want? WTF? Dudes reading this post, please don't think the average woman is into this. Being platonically led on only to discover sexless friendship wasn't a long-term plan/desire after all. And it was all a ruse to play the victim of being friend-zoned when it doesn't get you in her panties. We absolutely hate this nonsense. And like the guy I'm replying to said, it's manipulative. 100%. It's like that girl who did a TikTok once how she said to a dude she was dating, "I don't think this is going anywhere." He agreed, and they broke up. And she then filmed a video saying, "Why didn't he try? I can be manipulated into staying with you." And all that nonsense about fight for me when the relationship is going nowhere, etc. Be honest about your intentions from the start and avoid chaos. Not a-hole. It's hard making friends with people at all once you're over 30, let alone maintaining new friendships with people you've met for no more than a handful of hours. She has unrealistic expectations of how hard people are willing to try for a mere chance at a relationship sometime down the road. And it sounds like she's hard work and potentially playing games with them. We are also consistently telling men that maintaining a friendship with the sole hope of turning it romantic is also disrespectful. The man she wants to play her game is also more likely to be a creepy a-hole. She'll catch one of these guys eventually, and then constantly complain to her friend about how her boyfriend is a jerk.